Hey, I'm Austin with Training Tall and welcome back to another rowing machine review video. Today I am sitting on the latest and greatest from Aviron, their new Strong Series rower. Now, I reviewed the original Aviron rower a while back, and with their new rower, they essentially took all of the feedback, all of the things to be improved upon aspects of their old rower and put it into their new one. And so in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down everything you need to know about the new Aviron rower, how it compares to the old rower, and if the Aviron might be a good choice for you in your rowing journey. First off, let's talk about the dimensions of the machine. With this new Strong Series rower, it's 10 inches shorter horizontally than the original rower. And that was one of the biggest dimensional complaints I had about the old Aviron rower was that it was so long. It was way longer than all the other rowing machines out there. And so if you're someone who's concerned with space laterally, this new one's a lot shorter. But even though it's 10 inches shorter, it doesn't take away from us taller users like myself, who is 6'8", who can very comfortably row on this machine with still a good 2 to 3 inches to spare with my 36-inch inseam. Which means that this rower will accommodate 99.99% of users based off of height. Not only that though, it's more sturdy and can support up to 500 pounds of weight compared to about 400 pounds on the old rower. And speaking of the sturdiness of the rower, the entire model of the rower is now just a lot more sturdy. It is clocking in about 15 pounds heavier than the old rower, but everything is just rock solid. The rail's thicker and just the overall look of it just looks like it's a machine that can really just handle some work. They've made it a lot easier to get on and off of the rower. On the old machine, the actual rail was very high off of the ground, but in the new design here, the rail sits low, but the seat is raised up. The seat sits high, making it just a more comfortable experience getting on and off of the rower. Speaking of the seat now comes with a hard version of the seat and a soft version of the seat. So if you're looking for a little bit more of a comforting seat, rather than the standard harder seat that the old rower comes with, you have the option of using the softer seat. And as someone who's been using the Aviron for quite a long time now, this softer seat is game changer. They still keep the very good biomechanical friendly design of having the edges raised up to naturally help you tilt forward to protect your lower back, but it's just softer. It's got a little more give to it, so it's just a comfier row. So massive improvements as far as accessibility and comfort goes. They've also totally remodeled their foot plate design. Not only do the foot plates adjust up and down in a slightly easier way, with you simply having to pull back on a latch and adjust the feet up and down, rather than trying to press 2 buttons at the same time and adjust up and down. The foot plates have 7 different foot plate adjustment heights, which are gonna accommodate all shoe sizes, big or small. They come with new Velcro straps that are a lot sturdier and secure. And the biggest thing, which is instead of the foot plates just moving up and down, there's now actually a crank on the side that allows you to adjust the foot plates horizontally, which is so good, and not enough rowing machines do this. As far as I know, this is the only rower that allows you to adjust horizontally, which will help for accommodating different midsection sizes, different hip bone structures, because all of our skeletal structures are different, and this just increases the accessibility. And with the ability to adjust the foot plates as wide as you want them, it's gonna biomechanically favor a proper stroke that keeps you safe at the same time. So this is a huge solution and one of my favorite aspects of the new rower. Now, as far as the handle goes, I have spoke praise about the Aviron rowing handle, specifically because it is a rotating handle. It rotates in your hands, which means that no matter what your wrist position is, if you're in a poor wrist position as you take a stroke, for an example, it's always going to roll as you drive back to put you into a neutral position. This helps prevent thumbs over on top of the handle and always allows you to best utilize your back and your leg muscles without overutilizing your arms. The rotating handle is awesome, And now they've also increased the length of the handle, which was my big critique of the handle. The one thing I didn't like was that it was a little narrow, but now the handle is nice and wide, allowing for those of even the broadest of shoulders, such as myself, to very comfortably hold the handle where it needs to be. Another cool feature of the handle is that it's gonna have buttons to adjust the resistance on the handle when the rower ships out. Unfortunately, mine doesn't have the buttons, but yours will. And if you haven't noticed yet, my phone has been sitting here at the front of the rower because they've implemented a phone holder spot. And it's just a nice little box for you to just set your phone in. And even with a thick case on it, like mine, it just sits there. And you can just pick it up, put it down wherever. It's a small feature, but it's very convenient. Now, with their new model of rower, they've kept the same 22-inch HD monitor. But now the monitor can actually twist side to side as well as up and down. So it's great for your off of the rower workouts. If you're working intervals of rowing on the rower, being off of the rower, you can move your screen very easily swivel. I mean, this is so easy to adjust. It's just awesome. All right, and now let's talk about how this thing rows. I'm happy to report that the Aviron is now quieter than it was before. It's still a combination of air and magnetic resistance, but it's a lot quieter than the old design. So instead of me just blabbing on and telling you about it, I will show you how it sounds. By the way, the Aviron has 16 different resistance levels. Here's what it sounds like at the lowest resistance setting. And here's what it sounds like at its highest resistance, resistance 16. So, as you can see, or as you can hear, at the higher resistance settings, it makes less noise. At the lower resistance settings, it is a bit louder, but you can see right there too at the max resistance how hard and heavy those strokes looked. I was really trying to yank the stroke as hard as I could. And at the 16th resistance level, that's actually offering 100 pounds of resistance on the rowing stroke, which is insane. It's definitely the heaviest feeling stroke that I've gotten on a rower of any kind, which might put into question, can you get resistance training off of a rower? It's not a substitution for using weights or resistance training on its own, but the fact that these strokes can feel so heavy, is awesome. And a little bonus with the new design of the machine is that you actually get a little bit of a gust of air shooting at you from the top with each stroke. So it's gonna help keep you cooler as you row. And of course, you still have access to everything that the Aviron monitor has to offer, whether it's streaming, games, competition, follow along workouts with me, their guided programs, or even their virtual rows. Now, as far as storage of this machine goes, with the new design of the rower, they've taken on the old school approach of storing the rower, which is allowing it to raise up. You simply tilt the monitor down and lift up the back end of the rower, and it stands up, perfect for storage. And while their old rower had an innovative way of storing by kind of breaking down in the middle and folding up, making it compact vertically, it was still a bit wide horizontally. Now it's just very tall vertically, but not so much horizontally. Pretty straightforward, but honestly, I just prefer the ability to stand the rower up and be done with it rather than trying to break it down and fold it in half. Overall, Aviron has made some insanely awesome improvements to their rower. They've taken the feedback, they've implemented the feedback, and they've made a freaking fantastic, strong, sturdy, great rowing machine. My only big critique for the rower, and it's not even a huge critique or point of feedback, but as far as the foot plates go, even though they do accommodate big and small shoe sizes, when I have the foot plates set as low as possible with my big, tall, giant feet, my heels are poking out of the bottom just a little bit, and as I drive through, I can feel that I'm kind of pushing the plastic of the foot plate holder kind of through the bottom of the metal plating. So if this metal plating was just a couple inches longer to fully support the heel, I think that's gonna be a better option long term, because I feel like after probably a few months, this plastic might start to warp because that bottom part kind of getting pinched off at the end. But other than that, it's a freaking great rower, and I hope you enjoyed the review. If you're looking to learn more about the features that Aviron has to offer, check out my other Aviron review videos where I go deep dive details into everything that the actual platform of Aviron has to offer, as well as all of my other rowing machine review videos, so that way you can find the rower that's best for you. And don't forget to check out trainingtall.net for training plans, personal form review with me, a list of all the supplements and fitness equipment that I recommend, as well as my app, Just Row. But please let me know your thoughts on the new Aviron rower down below, and let me know what you want to see from me next in a future video. But thank you so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video.